Hello, and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast is number 1589. The topic is mindset, and the title is A Different Way to Look at a Day. So I have a client, they're kind of beating the crap out of themselves. And, I'm just kind of bummed for them, so we've been talking through some things. And what they're beating themselves up about is they've been messing up on their food once a week. Now, they're having a really bad one day a week, and they're kind of dealing with it. And they might mess up, something another day of the week, but usually it's really something really small. But it's one day a week, and they're experiencing some stress and just mental overload for various reasons. And they tend to overeat on that day. And since they've been messing up that day, they just kind of feel like they're a failure. And I think we all kind of struggle with that sometimes. How often do we all kind of like beat ourselves up mentally when we mess up a day? We miss a single meal maybe. Maybe we get to the end of the day and we realize we're low on protein. Or we overeat in the evening and realize we're over on our daily calories. We mess up one day and we think, I'm a failure. I've failed at my goal. I'm doomed to be a failure forever. I'm such a loser. I'm never going to be any better, blah, 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 blah. And we just absolutely kick the crap out of ourselves based on just a single day. Ugh. Well, let's look at one day a little differently. If you were to be successful at following all of your daily actions for 6 out of 7 days a week, so if you got 6 good days a week, you'd actually be way above average. That'd be really damn good. So most of the clients I work with, we struggle to get them to being consistent for 5 out of 7 days. So I always tell them 10 out of 14. Give yourself 2 weeks. And for my non-competitive clients, 5 out of 7 days a week is freaking awesome, and it's enough for them to be successful. For my competitive clients, when we're kind of in the time leading up to their prep, 6 out of 7 days is awesome, very good. Then during our prep, maybe the last, say, 8 to 12 weeks before the competition, we would like to have 7 out of 7 days. We very rarely would like to, make a mistake there in the last kind of final time. But for most people, most of the time, 6 out of 7 days a week would be freaking awesome. Well, let's look at that in a year. A year is 365 days. Let's say they've changed it and I'm unaware. But a year is 365 days. Being accurate towards our daily goals for 6 out of 7 days a week means that we'd be accurate for a year at 312 days. So that means there's 52 kind of dash 53 days a year that we could miss and we'd still be amazing. So you can miss 53 days in a whole year, and that's still like being successful 6 out of 7 days. That's freaking awesome. If you were to go for the 5 out of 7 days, and you're like, man, that would be great. If I could just be accurate during the week, or if I could get 5 out of 7 days, that is enough to make progress. It's enough for most people to reach their goals. That actually means you could miss 105 days in a whole year. 105 days, and you'd still be successful. So if you have an extreme goal, you can aim for the 6 out of 7 days a week, which means you can mess up 53 days a year. If you have more of an average goal, then you can mess up 105 days a year. The benefit of looking at it this way is there's less pressure on a single day. If you mess up today, you can say, okay, well, there was one of my 105 days. I'll get back on track tomorrow and crush it. It's a lot less mentally stressful if you look at a single day as part of the total number of days that you have. You don't have to be perfect. You absolutely can screw up a day and still be totally okay. You can screw up 105 days and still be successful. So for the client who's been beating themselves up, we set a number for each month and for every 3 months. So their per month goal is to screw up equal to or less than 8 days. So they can mess up 8 days in a month, and they're going to be totally fine. They're still going to reach their goal. And then per 3 months, we want to screw up equal to or less than 24 days. So, if they have a bad day, they can say, okay, well, that was one of my 8 days this month. No worries. I've been doing well. I can still make the mark for this month. And they also know that if they have a particularly bad month, they can make it up over the next 2 months. And they can still hit that 3-month target. We're no longer looking at each day as make or break. No longer thinking that they have to be perfect every single freaking day. They have some mental wiggle room. There's some mental allowance. They're looking at a single day differently. So if you're struggling with that same kind of day-to-day perfectionist pressure, look at a day differently. You don't have to be perfect every day. You can actually mess up a lot of days and still be successful. You have 105 days that you can mess up, and you can still be successful. So don't let a single day cause you to quit. Don't let a single day cause you to lose motivation, to lose momentum, to lose self-belief, self-confidence. One day doesn't make or break you. You can still be successful. You can mess up 105 days, and you can still be successful. So if we look at a single day differently, it can allow us to reduce that pressure we're putting on ourselves. And it can actually allow us to go through the process of becoming successful with a healthier, more positive mindset. And man, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice to spend the amount of time it's going to take you to be successful happy? Rather than feeling under pressure every day, miserable every day, mad at yourself every day. You can be happy. You can understand that it's a process. That day to day, you're just building up a string of days. A week of days, a month of days, months of days. A single day doesn't make or break you. Look at your days differently. And that can help a lot. Okay. Well, short and sweet. Well, I don't know about sweet, but it's short. But I think this is a good lesson. It's a good way to kind of open up our perspective and have a little bit of a healthier mindset while going through the process of trying to reach our goals. Okay? Well, hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, suggestions, feedback, anything you want to know, let me know at my email, brutalirongym@gmail.com. If you like our podcast, please share it. When you share it, let people know that we answer questions for free, so that way they're encouraged to reach out and get their questions answered. And then thank you to those who donate to support the podcast, so we can actually do that for free and help people, so I really appreciate that. You can donate on our website, www.brutalirongym.com. Even just $5 a month, something small, actually adds up and helps a lot to cover the hosting costs and everything, so I really appreciate everybody's donations. It really does add up, and it really significantly does help, so thank you very much. If you like the information we share in our podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels. On Instagram, I post every single day, and it's different content than what's in the podcast as well. So it'd be definitely good to find us and follow us on Instagram, and you can do so under the name Brutal Iron Gym. Okay, as always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.